I'm not sure if we're live yet or not. We did move over to another area, as I think most of y'all can see. I'm over in some of the toy side here. I don't know if I'm live yet, but hope everybody had a good weekend. Had a good week so far. It's been hot. I'm sure it's been hot everywhere, but it's been pretty hot here. Pop says you're live. Awesome. So I got the phone going here. Chris is up in the house, says you're live. Awesome. I'm just making sure everything is rolling now. Looks like I got everything rolling. Got our list to go over from last week. Of course, you know I'm not over in the Hot Wheels area this week. I've got a mess over there. Woody's in the house. What's up, Woody? We got a few things to go over, and I've got to get. The only thing I don't have, I see, is a pen. Let me grab this pen real quick. I thought I had it over here where I could get to it, and I did. So I've got it now. Sorry about that. So we got a mess on the other side. So I've got to start getting some of that moved around. So I thought I'd come over here this week. Probably the next 3 weeks. We'll be over in this area. I don't know if y'all can hear me all right or not. I've moved pretty much everything over here. Deborah's in the house, and probably Ricky. What's up, Deborah and Ricky? And so anyway, everybody's saying hi. We'll start off, like I said, I hope everybody had a good weekend and a good week so far. I know it's been extremely hot. And I'll start off, if there's anything y'all want to talk about or know more about, put in the comments. As far as Hot Wheels go, if I can get to it quickly, I will try. Like I said, we're not in the Hot Wheels area today. We're over here in more of my toy stuff. Most of the stuff I had when I was a kid, it's up here. And just some other odd and end stuff that I just have bought over and just I like looking at. James is in the house. What's up, James? And we'll update our Sweet 16 or Beat 16 challenge. Anyway, I didn't get a chance to get everything set up from off the list, but we'll definitely go over what's on the list here. I did bring. Somebody had asked, I believe Carl had asked about the motocross and the Street Eater. I brung those. We'll check them out. We'll see if he comes in here in a few minutes. And then I brung the Sweet 16. That was something else that somebody had asked about. Somebody asked about the Roger Dodgers. So I brung some of those over there. And of course the Beat 16, we'll go over that again also. So like I said, I hope everybody's having a good time. Trying to get my phone up and connected. Make sure I get everything where I can kind of see it a little easier. All right. So we'll get a couple things out of the way right off the bat. This TurboTac 3000, I do not have the TurboTac 3000. Carl, what's up, Carl? You'd asked about the motocross and stuff. I brung some of them over. We'll look at those in a few minutes. I want to get over some of these pictures I got on my phone. I did look at some of this stuff up. Let me show you. I'm trying to put this up here where y'all can see it. That's the TurboTac 3000. It's super. That's the one that has the chicken crossing on it. And then that's a picture of it set up. I do not have that set, so it'll be a set that I'll have to try to start looking for. Also on our list was the I wasn't able to find that Roadrunner that we were talking about last week, so I found a picture of it. As soon as I find it, I will bring it up. But this is the Pro Racers. There was a set of 6, and that was the Roadrunner. I collect that casting of Matchbox down there, and that's why I kept that one. And then the full set of 6 cars is that set. I bought that set, and I think I ended up keeping Daffy Duck because it's a truck, and I kept the Roadrunner, and I sold the rest of them, I'm pretty sure, or traded them off, one of the two. So that's pretty cool. Couple other things before I completely get out of the phone. I don't know if y'all have seen the new Replay Classics, the 80s that's coming out, but I'll be looking for that one. Obviously, I got to have that 55 gasser, and there's a Hot Bird in there, and they're both in Zamac. You can see there's a Hot Bird, there's a Camaro, the big air, I mean the 55 Bel Air. You've got the Toyota GT, you got the Mercedes, got the Porsche, and you got that Volkswagen Dragster there. It's pretty cool. So I don't know if y'all are looking for that set, but I've definitely got to have a set of those so I can open it, because there's 2 castings I collect out there, which is cool. And I'm going to have to buy this one. I believe is going to be a Target set. I'm not 100% sure. And the main reason I need it is because it's got an 83 Silverado in it. It's got some pretty cool cars in it, but I need that 83 out of there. I don't know if y'all have seen those or not, but those supposed to be hitting, I'm reckoning, the next little bit. Got that Toyota. Got the Buick. It's got the Viper. It's got a little Skyline in there. It's got a little bit of everything, but I need that 83. So anyway, that's a couple of things that I noticed that's coming down the pipe that I'll be looking for. Not sure if y'all have seen those, or you should be seeing them pretty soon, I'm guessing. So anyway, I just wanted to go over some of that real quick, and we'll get back over to what our regular intentions were. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Everybody's saying hi to each other up there. The Matchbox are pretty cool. The Pro Racers. Carl says he has a loose Taz. That's awesome, Carl. I'm actually going to loosen the Roadrunner when I find that casting. I'll bring it in, and I'll definitely going to have to open it, because I never did open it from the set, and I'm pretty sure I kept the Daffy Duck too. Let's see. Chris says that's awesome. James says awesome. What's up, Forrest? What's up, Eddie? Simple Customs. Good evening. Yeah, I'm looking for those. Carl, while you're here, he was talking about the motocross and the Street Eater. I was going to show you to them. I know these are getting tough to find. And this one, I'm actually looking for another one of these, because this one never had a tempo on the tank, it doesn't look like. So it may be an error. I don't know. I don't think I've seen these without got the little red flame on the tank, and that was another reason that I'd picked this one up. Sorry if I'm shaky. I've got it set on this table that I use all the time. But anyway, those are tough to find, especially the handlebars intact and the kickstand. But this one's got to be pretty rare because it's missing the little red flame. Obviously, it may be a variation. I don't know how many's out there. And then here's your other one here. And it's getting harder to find these intact and in good shape. Got the handlebars, got your little stand there. But yeah, those were the first motorcycles that Hot Wheels put out. And they're pretty hard to find nowadays, it seems like. Everybody's kind of went up on the prices of those, but if you want the first Hot Wheel motorcycles, those are the ones you got to get. And so that was the motocross and the Street Eater there that we just went over. Let me double check the chat. We'll get back over here to the other stuff that we brought over to look at. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. James says he's got the red Mattel 80th Dreammobile. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've seen those 80th red editions. All that stuff should be showing up pretty soon. And I'm hoping to pick up those packages, because I need to get some of those cars. Yeah, no problem, Carl. Also, somebody had asked about the Roger Dodgers. So I brought the Roger Dodgers. Now, I collect the Roger Dodger casting, but I haven't got my case moved around to get them all out. So I just brought the ones that are the original from 74 all the way through 77, and then they didn't make another one until 19. I want to think 1990 was they had a scat between 77 and 90 or 91, but I collected everything beforehand. But I'll go over those real quick. Now, the first release is your plum, but this is the plum with the black interior or dark interior, whichever way you want to call it. And this is the one with the white interior. Now, the thing about it you got to look for on those is to make sure that you get a metal base. If somebody comes up with one with a white interior, make sure that it has a metal base and the white interior, because they also released it, and most of them you'll find is on a plastic base. Don't know if y'all can see that or not. I'm trying to get some light on it. Hard to tell on this side on what you can see and what you can't. So that's the first release. Then they released in 77 a red line version. And then they switched over, obviously, into 77 to the Blackwall version. And I have two different Blackwalls there because I have two different cone golds and two different color stripes. So that's the Roger Dodgers that I have that are pre-90. I believe 1990 they re-released it in some, released it again in some other colors. And I've collected that casting for a long time, and then they changed. I don't know if y'all remember when they changed the Roger Dodger from having the motor and stuff sticking out of the hood, where they put the motor and then they brung the side pipes on the side. I quit collecting it then, so I try to collect all of them up to whenever they move the motor. And the reason I collect that casting, all of them, is because I have a 74 Charger, which is what these are based off of. So, anyway, I just wanted to go over the Roger Dodgers because y'all had asked about it last week. Said if there's anything y'all want to know about, you can put in the comments. If I can't get to it, I can always get it ready for next week. Doesn't matter what it is. We'll figure it out. Yeah, like I said, the next couple weeks or so will be over here. So here's the those are cool. Dad's giving me the thumbs up, or giving somebody a thumbs up, not 100% sure. The 77s are cool, yeah. Purple Roger Dodger I have is black interior metal base. Yeah, that's for some reason I don't have that one up there in the case. Should be, like I said, the first release had the metal base. The re-release had the plastic base. Or not the re-release, but the next end of the year. And you'll see white interior on a very few of them. Now the one I'm missing out of here, and the one I'm still looking for in any shape, would be the blue with the flames, red line. And it's as rare as this white interior is easily. So, and then James was talking about the Jaws 50th. Yeah, that thing's going to be cool. I like that. And then did you see the Comic-Con release of the Back to the Future set? That's going to be awesome too. I wish I would have kept I snapshotted that picture because those are cool. I saw them yesterday, I think it was, and I didn't get a chance to snapshot the picture because they're cool dioramas. And I was going to try to find them. I do have a picture of what they had put out that they said they were going to look like, but I didn't have a picture of the diorama part of it. but the diorama is what makes them. I don't know if you can see that or not. Jaws is going to be like chomping in the back of the boat, and then you got this is a whole diorama. Whoop, sorry. This is a whole diorama of the Back to the Future in the background. So I'm looking for. I'll be looking for probably the Back to the Future one. I don't know if I'm going to get the Jaws one. It just depends on how cool it looks after physically getting it or seeing it in hand. Let me go back over here to the Jaws order. That's going to be that's not bad for $32. I don't think. Woody says only like 219 and 20 in the chat. Push that button. I appreciate it. Thank y'all. I don't know how many we got in the chat or if we got enough in the chat. Y'all know more than what's going on than I do half the time. We gain people, we lose people the whole time. So anyway, I know a lot of people may not be their cup of tea on this side, but do you have the original 442? I do not. I do have an original 442, but the problem is the one I have is like worse than our roughest beater we have in there. So I don't even have it up in my display case. So I'm actually on the hunt for an original 442 in around C6, C7 condition would be great. So, but anyway, that's where I'm at on the 442 front. As soon as I'll try to dig it up and I'll show it to you. Like I said, it doesn't even make a good filler car. It's just it's just one that I had to say I check marked. I say I had it. Back to the Future, awesome too. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. That's going to be a good set. The Back to the Future is probably going to end up being the more expensive of the sets, I think. Sorry about keep getting commercials. Sorry, Deborah. I don't know what's going on with the commercials, but they seem to just come and go on everybody's thing. If you'll come back after the commercial and then fast forward it, then you'll be caught right back up with the chat. I've had to do that a lot. I wish I could find those dioramas. I could not remember where I saw them at, but they are awesome. So anyway, that's some of the newer stuff that's about to come out. Now I do have somebody had asked about the original Sweet 16 last week, so we can go over those real quick. And I got the Beat 16. We can go over that again too if y'all want. I don't know if that fan's bothering anybody. I got a fan blowing over here because it's just hot. James says they got the Optimus Prime mainline at the grocery store. That's awesome, James. I picked one of those up in the unspun and a raw version, pre-production raw, not a prototype, just a pre-production raw. And then I finally got one on the package, but I hadn't found one in the store. Of course, I don't really, what am I trying to say? I don't really collect that casting, but I just thought it was cool, so I picked it up. But I haven't found one in the store because I don't really go out and hunt them. Let's see. Chris says skip commercial catch up. Yeah, I got YouTube Premium. Luckily, yeah, the YouTube Premium is nice, but I apologize for the commercials. I'm not sure how many commercials y'all will end up getting throughout, but anyway, we'll go over. Now I didn't pull out. I just pulled out 16 of the sweets. The one of each Sweet 16 cars, or the 16 of my favorite of the Sweet 16 cars that I have on display right now. And I'll kind of go over each one on why. But we'll start off with the custom Camaro. And the main reason I like this one, I know it ain't in perfect shape, but the main reason, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, if there's enough light. If I need to shine more light, let me know. I can bend it down, bend the light over here closer. But to find the blue with the blue interior was a whole lot rarer car, so I was on the hunt for the first ones with blue and blue interior. And so that was the custom Camaro there, blue with blue interior. And then the custom Firebird, blue with blue interior. Like I said, the finding the blue with the blue matching interior was tough, so I actually hunted those for a while. And the funny thing about this one is when I got this from the guy, he said he opened it out of the package and you can see the front wheel on both sides were black. So I don't know if they were black. You know, I didn't open the package or whatever, but both of those are black. Thought it was neat, but blue with blue interior is the reason that I have that one um, out in this collection. And this goes to the Cougar also. The blue with blue interior. Like I said, I was on the hunt for those for a while. And like I said, if you look in, a lot of the books will mention that the ones with the matching color interiors are a little bit tougher to find. And that's the reason that I got those as some of my favorites to find, was the blue with blue interiors. No biggie. Yeah, the Camaro is cool. I appreciate it. Yeah, I like the blue Camaro with blue interior. It really makes it different. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not, Chris. That's why it ain't in my era's stuff. I mean, it looks to be true because there is not a lick of chrome and this car's in really nice shape. But it's hard to tell. I've looked and looked. I don't believe it ever got chrome, but if there was a way to completely prove it, it would be in my era's case with the rest of them. Chris is beating his chat up. I tried to keep it going and comment, but Chris has got me beat hands down. It's all good, Woody. Anything you want to talk about, we'll talk about it. We got a little bit of everything going on today, but then of course here comes an Eldorado, and I guess the main reason that this Eldorado was probably my favorite. Obviously, I was going after blue for a while, but it's in such great shape. You can see how shiny everything is. Unfortunately, we got a chip on the hood because if you open these hoods, they're really nice. But if you open them hoods and then somebody tries to reshut them, doesn't know you got to pull them forward. Almost every one of them, you'll see a big old chip out of them, even though they're nice as can be. You're probably going to see that on the hood because whenever you open these hoods, they'll fall back in there. And if you don't kind of lift up and as you close them, they'll scratch. And that goes with most of every hood. And that's the only chip on the whole car is because this hood got open hard. And I guess when they tried to cut it back, they scratched it. But very nice piece either way. Forrest says, after many years of peg buying, I finally found a Snoopy car. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Snoopy car is cool. I liked it. Where he's sitting on top of the doghouse, I'm guessing is the one you're talking about. I know they put out like a whole Snoopy's or Woodstock Charlie Brown series, but the Snoopy car itself, I'm guessing, is the one where he's sitting on top of the doghouse. I'm guessing. I mean, it first come out with five spokes, and then they also switched it over to the open hole fives. And I believe they come out with a PR5 version. They've re-released it like 4 times, I believe. So anyway, that brings me up to the hot heap, and you can see there that the hot heap is blue also. I went after blue for a little while, and pretty successful finding blues. Blue was probably a pretty common color, but to find the blue with blue interior on the early run stuff is tough. Of course, then you got the custom Corvette. I'm not 100% sure what they call this color. Aqua maybe, green, I don't know. Being colorblind, it's hard for me on these cars, but pretty nice shape. And hard to get this hood open, but this hood, most of the hoods you'll see on them has a big chip in the front there because somebody flipped it open and then flipped it back closed. You do that once on these thin Spectre Flame paints and they get chipped pretty easy. But anyway, there's that one. Let's see what we're saying over here in the chat, and I'll get back over here. Oh, yeah, they're saying it's the Snoopy's first edition. Snoopy could take off the doghouse. Next edition, it was stuck on. Yeah, I believe that I have an era somewhere with him missing. bet looks good. I appreciate it. Yeah, it does. It says that Chris is hitting the clutch and grabbing the gears in chat. That's awesome. I appreciate all y'all chat. If there's anything y'all want to chat about, just put it in the chat. There's no rhyme or reason on what we're doing. I'm gonna finish up the Sweet 16, then we'll go over the Beat 16, and that's kind of what I've got laid out. And like I said, if there's anything y'all want to talk about or know about, we'll go over it. But now we'll get back over here to here's the Barracuda, and I don't know why this one is setting out like this. What's funny about this one is missing the cowl there, and I thought that was pretty wild because where the hood opens, evidently, whenever you open them, the main reason I bring this over is so that when you open these, you got to be real careful when you're looking at them, because if you open them hard and them edges of the hood hits that cowl, that's just a little thin piece of metal on these first ones, and they'll bend and break off. And that's the main reason I brung this one over, is because once you bend and break it off, that's kind of it. You can restore it or whatever, but so just be careful when you're opening those hoods real easy. And then whenever you go to close them, make sure you kind of lift up and close if they're, not beat all to pieces, obviously. But just some stuff like that. I know a lot of y'all that does red lines know this, but just some things that I think a lot of people might want to know. Yeah, get in there. Just picked up the recent Hot Wheels Silver Series Peanuts Fiat with Patty and her friends. That's cool. I don't know. I haven't collected a lot of the odd. Wasn't there a set? Yeah, I've got one. I remember. I collect what is the van? I'm sorry. I'm trying to think. The Dodge van. It's got the peanuts on the side, I'm pretty sure. I do have that one over there. But I collect the Dodge vans because it's the closest thing that I have to my Chevy G10. I got a 64 Chevy G10, what I call the Scooby-Doo bus, little snub-nosed short bus. And that's the closest Hot Wheels put out, was that little Dodge van. And they had a Peanuts version of it. I did remember buying that one a while back. Let's see what we got going on. Just picked. Yeah, that's what's Carl saying. The Snoopy first. Yeah, that is cool. I'm trying to get back to the chat over here. I remember whenever they first hit, a lot of people was pulling Snoopy off and customizing them and driving different cars. And then Chris says his is missing the hoods. Yeah, good to know, Carl. Yeah. And then Carl says the Redline Mustang with the rear louvers is a great find. Yeah, I'm actually about to get to that one here in a minute. Oh, did we skip the Mustang? Maybe I did miss. Did I skip the Mustang and went to the Eldorado? I don't remember, but the reason I have the Mustang in here, it's blue, but it's got the louvered rear windows. And maybe I skipped the Mustang. I apologize if I did, but the main reason I have this one out is because of the louvered rear windows. Something always people are trying to find. So I think I did skip the Mustang, but I can't remember. But if I did, we went over it now. And here's your T-Bird. And it's got the dark interior on it. Got a nice shiny engine, but there again, anytime you open a T-Bird, 90% of the time you start looking, there'll be a chip right there on the back. Here's your Ford J car. And I think this one looks the best in green because it reminded me of whenever they used to race them back in the day. And you can see this one's in pretty nice shape for green. So added that one too. I'll check the chat. We'll go over some more of these in a second. Let's see, the Redline Mustang. Yeah, that's what I couldn't remember if we went over that or not. I picked up 2 days the Mario Yoshi tow truck, 50 cents, and an older carbonator. That's cool. Do you have a Mustang with open hood scoops? I do not have a Mustang with an open hood scoop. I have 3 or 4 different colors, I believe, but I do not have one with an open hood scoop. And that was my first rear louver, and I really wasn't looking for a rear louver at the convention. But a guy had one there, and he gave me an offer I couldn't refuse, so I ended up having one. Let's see. They had the Warner Brothers Dodge van with the Looney Tunes on them I picked up a couple years ago. Yeah, I collect that casting, and I was going to get out of it. I sold a couple of the convention pieces, and now I'm going to go back and pick those up. I was hoping they was going to, since they made the Econoline, they made the Econoline and they made the Dodge truck. I was hoping they was going to make, I mean the Dodge van. I was hoping they would make a Chevy van. They haven't done one of those yet. Of course, that was just a 3-year deal, 4-year deal that they made the shorties. Then they went into longer ones in the 90s. I mean in the 60s. I'm sorry. And let's see where we're at now. Showed the Mustang a couple lives back. Yeah, I remember doing that now. I appreciate you reminding me, Carl, because I think I completely skipped it a while ago. So, Forrest, no big deal. It's just a Mustang. Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. It is pretty rough, but it is a louvered rear window, which is tough to find. Smash that like button. I appreciate it, Eddie. Thank y'all for saying that. Randy's in the house. What's up, Randy? Deborah and Ricky saying hello. Chris, what up, Randy? All right, so then we get into our custom fleet side here. And I like the custom fleet sides pretty good. This was rumored that the Harry Bradley was one of his original cars whenever Hot Wheels was made. Elliot Handler had walked out and seen that he had drove this to work, and he said he wanted the cars looking like his truck. That's the way I understand it. This was his original car, and he had it in orange too. That's the way I understand it. And of course, it had the side pipes and all that. And that's what they wanted to model the Hot Wheels after. The way I understand the whole conversation went. At least that's what I've read and what I've talked to other people. But so anyway, that is what one of the first Hot Wheels. The reason that Hot Wheels are the way they are is because of that right there. Let me see. Go back over here. It says was playing dice and said, "Oh crap, I gotta go." That's cool, Randy. Playing dice. I haven't played dice in a long time. That's pretty fun. Forrest says, "Wish y'all could share pictures in chat or small clips." YouTube, hear me? I don't know. YouTube, you hear me? I don't know how to do that for y'all to share to there. It'd be cool though. I bet Ricky knows about this. Harry Bradley, whatever his name was. I believe it's Harry Bradley, and that was the first. Whenever Elliot Handler had walked out, said he wanted all of his Hot Wheels to look like his custom car. Then we'll move on here to a Diora. And you don't see this Diora in this color a whole lot, and that's another reason I like it. And supposedly these are original. I'm going to guess these are original. I was told they was original back whenever I got this car, and they're really thin, and you can kind of see the cracks throughout them. So I'm pretty sure that they're original surfboards for this one. But you don't see that one in that color a lot on the Diora. So that's one of my favorite Dioras that's in my collection. And that brings me up to the custom Volkswagen. And the main reason I like this custom Volkswagen over the others is if you look at the steering wheel there, it's got an open and closed sunroof on them. But the steering wheel is supposed to be stuck back, and it's a drag car, and it's supposed to be back in the back wheel. Well, whenever they put it together, it hung the sunroof there, and it's hanging out of the sunroof. So it's an error, and that was one of the main reasons that I picked this Volkswagen Bug to bring out for my Sweet 16. Like I said, these are just some of the ones that the reason I got them and the reason I brought them out. I was just going over some of the stories behind why I picked those for my favorite of the Sweet 16 right now. Let's go back over here. Rustang is fighting words, as Carl says. Yeah, it's a custom El Camino, Chris. Exactly what it is. Then this was a pretty awesome find back in the day. Of course, it's pink. Everybody knows it's the silhouette, and it's in pink, which is a tough color on any of the red lines to find, really. But my favorite part about this, I went into the antique store, and I went in there all the time back in the day. And then this guy had brought in a box of them, and it had no wheels on this car whenever I got it. And it was sitting in the box just like you see, other than it didn't have any wheels on it. And he's like, "Oh, you don't want that one? That ain't got no wheels." And I was like, "Well, how much?" And he said $2 back in the day. And this was probably 15, 18, maybe 20 years ago now. But so basically, I just took another silhouette and I just ripped the wheels off and put them on this one. They need to be bent back straight, but tough color. Another reason that I have that one is one of my favorite of the 16. Let me get back over to chat and then we'll go back over the rest of them. The owner of the Mattel see his elk in the parking lot, then light bulb, knew they'd get half paycheck. I restored one of those 68s in Spectre Flame Green. That's cool. Ricky's main collection is Mustangs, VWs, Mystery, Peanuts, Redlines. Just about anything. You're right. I understand that one, Deborah. I learned to drive in a Volkswagen Bug, so I always like those. Those are cool. That's cool. Always has interesting content, great chats. I appreciate it, Woody. Sorry, Carl, I was holding back. She says that's cool. Wheels look right. Yeah. The only thing I don't, I disclosed that these aren't the original wheels that come on the car because it's important sometimes whenever you go to buy a car. But I took them off of another one of those exact cars, so it just displays a lot better when you have full wheels, obviously. Then we'll go over this Python here. And I got this Python, basically it's pink, and it's one of the rarer colors to find. I know it's not perfect shape, but a pink one is tough to find. So another reason I brung it out is because it's pink and it's a tough color to find on that car. Then my favorite car of all the Sweet 16, and my favorite car of all the cars of Sweet 16. There's actually two. I just added the other one at the convention, which was the double spray orange, but the pink here, Beatnik Banded, with the original, some kid put the original Ed Roth sticker off the package. You can see where he peeled up off the package and put it on the back of the car, and it's sat there all of its life on the back of this car. And that is my favorite of the Sweet 16 and my favorite car because of that sticker. And then I've got the double spray orange. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, every one of these cars come on this original car with the custom autos, what they call this, because it was auto that made the artwork. And so they ended up making this car. I know a lot of y'all may know it now. It's called the custom auto. But there's the sticker that you can see on the back of this car. Some kid took the time to peel that back and stick it on the back of that car. And it's in pink, which is awesome. But this package is a 1967 package. Well, it says it 67s when it was printed on the back there. But this package would have been what all these cars come in. It's the only reason I brung that package over. So that is my Sweet 16. Of course, Beatnik Bandit is my favorite red line, period. And it is my favorite. Obviously, I'm a big Ed Roth fan. And that's the reason the Beatnik Bandit is my favorite of all the Sweet 16s and my favorite car. And I do the color rainbow on it. But anyway, I'm sure a lot of y'all are doing rainbows of other things, or y'all are collecting certain castings. So that's kind of where we're at on that's a full set of the Sweet 16. That's the Roger Dodgers up to 1990. I'll write down Roger Dodgers. I'm going to leave those on the list. And I'll try to, when I move that case out, I'm hoping in the next week or so, I'll try to pull all the Roger Dodgers, the newer ones out, and we'll go over those again. And then, of course, the motocross and street eaters. And now we're about to go over the Beat 16, and we'll see where we're at on those. I did not go anywhere this last weekend, and I don't believe I've got anything planned for this coming weekend. And then we're back in Florida pretty soon, and then there's a Cotwell show down there for sure I'm going to try to hit. But I'm not for sure if I've got anything planned for this week and next weekend. Let's see what we're saying here. Let me get back over to chat real quick. And Carl, my first drive was in VW Bus, open top. That's cool. Miniature Mustangs, what's up? Says, hey guys. Forrest, I happen to know. What are you saying? Sweet. Yeah, that is a cool beatnik. When I saw that one, that was what actually ended up making the deal. I ended up buying a collection of Beatnik Bandits, a Start of a Rainbow, just because I wanted that one car. I'd already had the Rainbow started. Another buddy had offered me, I think he had 12 or 14 colors. I really didn't want them all. I really wanted that one, but the deal wasn't going to be made unless I had that one. So we ended up doing a deal. Of course, you go through and keep which ones you want. Me, I kept them all, so you know how that goes. But anyway, it's hard for me to sell any of the Beanie Bandits, so just because that's my favorite. Let's see. Wow, that's sweet. Appreciate it. Years ago, went to the Ed Roth Museum in Reno, Nevada. That's cool, Carl. When did you get the 68 Redline in the package, and how much did you pay? Oh, I've had this one for, I'd say around, I think 2005 or 2006 convention, maybe 5, because I always wanted a Beatnik Bandit in the package, and this was not my first Redline I ever bought in the package, because I actually got a few that were cut packages, and people were selling them cheap back then, and I was like, I'm going to buy them. So I've got a few cut packages, but this one, I ended up paying up. Then I think I paid $60 for this one, which was pretty high at the time, but it was in such nice shape, and the car was, still connected and everything then. And so that ain't a lot now. I think one of these in this kind of shape is going to cost you probably double that or so, but maybe more. But $60 in was quite a bit. I believe that's what I ended up paying, trading around or paying however we ended up making the deal. But that was back whenever I was just starting doing a lot of red lines. I just wanted one of everything, and I'd already started doing my rainbow on the Beatnik Bandit, because whenever back then that was probably one of the Beatnik Bandit, the Python, the Silhouette. Those three right there were the three cheapest Sweet 16 cars that there was, and of course they were all show cars, so they were all custom. So I actually done a rainbow in each one of these for a little while, but I really stuck with the Beatnik Bandit, and I've still got quite a few different colors of those. But Miniature Mustangs, he says hi. Doesn't sound like a real name. I worked in the pharmacy for. It's on my bucket list. I must have missed something, but that's all right. Museum. Easy pickings. Hello. Yeah, everybody's saying around 300 now. Yeah, they're getting on up there now. I haven't looked at the prices of stuff in the. I mean, I look at them, but I don't really focus on them a lot, because the one thing I do want to do eventually, this is down the road. This is not like I gotta have it the next month or two. But my plan is I would love to find one of each package, and at least have one car in each package for each year. And I know that sounds like a lot, because heavyweights packages, you've got the IndyCar packages. I mean, you've got a ton of different packages. You got Cheetah packages. You got the auto package here. You've got a spoiler package. There's a lot of redline packages. You start saying, all right. Then you get into Super Chrome, Flying Colors. The 73 pack's going to be crazy. But I've got a few of them like off the card that I've kept over the years. But I'd eventually like to have a whole section of every one of each year, but that's going to be a while before I ever get a chance to get all of them. Steve said, mentioned good evening. Oh, yeah, Woody been talking to the kiddo. Hello. Needs some more Mustang support in here. Lots of haters out here. That's what it says. I don't know. Can you show the bottom of all the red lines real quick? How do you tell if they were the next year colors? Um, yeah, I can show you the bottoms, and then we'll go over those other. That's the custom Camaro right there. And these are, a lot of them are called tab bases. You can see there's big holes cut in the bottom, and you can see the wires where the suspension comes through. It ain't just a straight line suspension back. When these were made, they come up, over, across, and then come back, and they're hooked in like a W shape almost, and then come out the sides, which gives each one of them independent suspension. And then you'll notice on the first year wheels, hard to see there, but each one of them had a lip on the inside of the tire. So you'd have the tune-up tool so you could keep those straight. So the only thing that was touching the ground was the edges on the inside of the tires there, which made them super quick. So you'll probably see a lot of tab stuff on your early stuff. You can see there's tab bases, and they're called tab bases because they're punched out. Let's see if I can find one. That's another tab base on the. Try to see if I can find one non-tab base. Okay, here's a Mustang that's a non-tab base. Now there's two different bases on these. That's a non-tab. They'll say tab and non-tab because the big squares cut out. Let's see. Oh, here you go. Here's another one. Now the tab base, the way I understand it, are the first years and the first releases, but then they found out quickly they could do the same thing without cutting that hole in the bottom. And I guess it just saved them some time and some die cutting is what I'm guessing. I'm not 100% sure why they took that away, but you can kind of see the what a lot of people call the tab bases. And then this is a solid base. So the way I would understand is the tabs would come out first. Then they went over to this style base. Now, redline people, there's might be some redline people that know a little bit more about it than I do. I just know that this is probably a later run. But I believe the very first sets that come out all had tab bases. And there's a lot of early stuff that got changed. They were made in US and Hong Kong. So there was a lot of things that were changed over the years. I'll try to get through them all so y'all can see them. Whoop. There's the Diora's base. The surfboard come out. Kind of hard to see, but there is small cracks and thin surfboards. That's how you can kind of tell it's original. The newer ones are a little bit thicker, and the little fins are a little bit thicker, so kind of cool. There's the Volkswagen base. Silhouette base. There's your Python base there. Also looking for this one with a cheetah base. If anybody finds a cheetah base and interested in trading it, let me know. Y'all know how rare those are, probably. They're like hen's teeth. And then there's the bottom of the pink Beatnik Bandit, which is my favorite red line ever. And so anyway, that's the bases real quick. You can't really see the base on this one. I mean, it's a tab base. It's hard to see the base on that one. It is a tab base, but it's hard to show you that base in there. But it's pretty amazing to see how, like on these first ones, whenever they were connected to plastic, how shiny the chrome was on those wheels. and the motor and stuff. That's why a lot of people, you know, if they hunt for years and never can find a mint one, they'll end up eventually. A lot of people crack those. They have uh, red line opening parties, and they'll just open a bunch of red lines. It's kind of crazy. So let's get back to the chat real quick. Let's see. Let's get back over here. I grew up GMV. First car was a 68 Rally Sport Camaro. Nice. Rick, what's up, Rico? Says wasabi. I have some, but have solid bases. Rico saying hi to everybody. What's up, Rico? Awesome to see you here. Excuse me. A few special ones unopened, but the joy of Hot Wheels to me is opening them, holding them, displaying them, collecting them, racing them. I'm with you. I love my stuff loose, but I do collect the arrows in the package, and then I want to eventually, like I said, one of my visions is to eventually find one of each pack and then have those on display eventually when I get the, like I said, 68 through 90 display done is what I'd really like to do. Carl says, thank you. Didn't know there was if there was a mix. Yeah. Yeah, there's mixes and the different colors. You got the different years. I don't know. I know more about Blackwall than I do red lines. I know red lines a little bit. I've studied them, but there's some red line collectors out there that knows they can look and probably tell you what month and what assembly line some of these come off of because they're just that good. So, hey Roberto, what's up, buddy? How much would an original Mustang be on card? It's all about the color on the card plus the card. If it's on a nice card like this and it's blue, regular, you're probably 450, maybe on up. Just depends on how rare the color is. Everybody saying hi to Roberto. What's up? My wife's asked him where he's going to go this weekend. He said maybe Hickory, North Carolina. We don't have anything planned for this weekend. I think the Nashville Flea Market might be this weekend. I don't know, but my wife knows more about that. She's the calendar. Not much in the way of hunting today. So pick up the Gasser 5-pack. That's really cool. The Toon 5-pack. It's cool because of the Toon Silverado and the Toon. Yeah, and I need the Toon Silverado. That's one of the ones I'll be looking for because I collect all the 83 since my son has 83. Before get too much further, we still got our Beat 16 challenge. We can go over those again real quick. I put the sticker on the outside. I'm not sure if I had it last week on the outside or not, but we went ahead and put the sticker. I'm going to have my wife write the Beat 16 on the outside here in red, probably because she knows how to ride a lot better than I do. And of course, the case, I appreciate it. Deborah and Ricky donated us the case here, and they gifted it to us, roped it to us, however y'all want to say it. And then this is where we're at. We got 6 of the 16 already. Our fleet side there. I believe y'all said this was purple. In purple. Got your tab base there. So that one was a tab. I don't know if this was, yeah, that one was a tab too. I was going to see if we could see the difference in the bases. So anyway, we got 5 in this one. We got our custom Camaro. And I'm guessing this is olive. I don't know. But the whole hood's missing. Of course, you got the top. Your A-pillar over here has been completely gone. But a custom Mustang, we got 15 in it. I was excited to get it for 15 because I thought that was going to be the high one. And I thought the Mustang was going to be the next highest one. And we ended up getting here's the Prowler we have. I'm sorry, what am I saying, the Prowler? Here's the Python that we have. Missing the hood, but it's got 4 wheels. We got $2 in that one. Here's the Silhouette that we decided on. Got a little scratch there on the window. It's got all 4 wheels, but it has been painted on. And we decided that we was going to, this is $1.50 to go into the budget. So here's the custom Mustang, which was awesome to get. To get a custom Mustang all 4 wheels and the hood, tab base, the whole 9, and he ended up giving it to me for $5. I was tickled to get it for that price. And then here's the Beat 16 of the custom CUDA, and the Barracuda there. Missing a couple of wheels and the hood. If you could find a hood and a couple of wheels on that one, that would be a pretty cool one too. And I ended up giving 10 for this one because I just figured some of these are going to be tougher to find. So we've got 10 left to get. We're 6 on the way. Obviously, I'm going to keep looking for them everywhere we go. This week's video was where we found the one we're using for our silhouette now for $1.50. And we ended up getting the Camaro and the Fleet side on this week's video. And that was at the Cousins Collectible show in Crossville. So that was a few weeks back. And then the next week's video should be Huntsville show, where I got roped this for our Beat 16 challenge. Like I said, our biggest thing is on the Beat 16. For y'all that doesn't know, some of y'all do know, some of y'all don't know, we're doing a Beat 16 challenge. I know some people may be asking about it. What we're doing is trying to find these are the first original 16 Hot Wheels cars here. Here's the poster. This is the first 16, come out in '68. And somebody had asked last week to bring out all 16 of the original 16, some out of my collection. And I brought these out, and I kind of went over why each one I like. But we're going to get them all together. We're going to get all 16. Once we find all 16, and we're going to go live, and we're going to give them away here. And we're trying to get all 16 and everything for under $100. That's our biggest. That's going to be our biggest challenge, is getting over $100. Right now, currently, we are. I'm going to make sure I've got the numbers right because I've got them wrote down. So we got 2. Let me go back over them real quick, make sure I got all the numbers right. Sorry. Let me look at this chat, and then we'll go back over here. Flea market this weekend. Don't know if we're going. James asking to run down on Speed 16. Yeah, we're going over that now. I'm sorry, I'm behind on the chat, everybody. This is going to make someone so happy I hope so. The Beat 16, Rico. Yeah, what we're doing is we're going to put together all 16 of the original Hot Wheel cars. I'm sorry to sound like a broken record. And we're trying to do it for under $100. So they're originally called the Sweet 16, but we're calling it the Beat 16 because, like I said, we're trying to get all 16 put together for under $100. And so let's go back over. I got you. Go back and watch. No, it's fine, Rico. We'll go over. You know, like I said, that's what we're doing. We're trying to get them all for $100. Right now, we're 6 in. I'll go back over the numbers real quick just so I know. We're $2 and $1.50, $5, $10, $15, and 10. I'm sorry, and 5. So right now we're $38.50 into 6. We knocked 10 more, and we've got $61.50 to work with, which basically gives us a little over $6 a piece to work with. So $6.10 or so to work with each. So I'm hoping we still got some tough ones. We got the Firebird still to get, the Cougar. The Eldorado maybe not be bad. The Corvette's probably going to be the next highest one, I would guess. The Bug will probably be, I would say the Bug, and the Firebird will be the 2 next highest, and then the Corvette. But you can see the challenge that we've got still ahead of us. Like I said, we got 10 and we got like $61.50 left. So we'll just go from there. Like I said, it is going to take us a little while, but I'm hoping that we can finish it up in the next bit. And then once we get finished, we're going to go live on here. And we're going to figure out one of those little things where I can say, hey, y'all put a certain comment in the description. And then whenever y'all comment, hopefully it'll be like a digital roller and it'll digitally roll around. Hopefully y'all be able to see it on the screen. It'll pick somebody, and then I'll ship it out to them, and then they'll have a full set of the Sweet 16, which we'll call the Beat 16 Challenge. Just something fun, and that's cool. Woody Woody says he's gonna run. I'll see you later, Woody. You have a good one, buddy. I appreciate you coming by and seeing me. Like I said, if there's anything y'all want to know more about, maybe in the next show or even this show, let me know, and we'll try to get back to it. Miniature Mustang says almost did the Crossville show. Maybe next time. Yeah, you should check it out. It was awesome. It was a good show. Um, had a good time. Talked to a lot of people there. Good luck. Yeah, it is a tough um, find. I have about 15 OG Redlines in my collection. That's cool, Rico. It's always a good start. I mean, you're not going to go wrong if you can find some decent shaped Redlines. Um, like I said, this is the first 16 here, and we're at 6, so we only got 10 more. It don't sound like a lot, but the ones we still got left are going to be expensive. And anyway, so I know this is a little change of pace. I don't know how y'all like over here. Another reason I want to come over here, kind of break it up over there. Plus, I'm going to start trying to move some stuff around over there because I'm really boxed myself in over in that. I mean, I'll definitely move back over there probably when I get back. We've got a trip planned in a couple, 3 weeks, whenever that is. And we'll probably do it over here for the next couple of weeks just because I want to try to move some stuff out. I'm going to try to get to that case over there. See if I can't figure out something. I'm going to try to get that one moving. The Thunder Roller Semi did not come with a trailer. The ones with the trailer is going to be your steering rigs, and you have some construction company and stuff like that come with the trailer. I think we went over some of those a few weeks ago. I've got a few of them. I used to collect them, and I had them all for a long time, and then I ended up selling a bunch of them years ago. Um, so anyway, that's the. Hope you chat to you soon, will you? Back to the hammer down. How do you know it's that casting? The moving on had brown windows and closed side windows. How can you tell? On the moving on and the other, I can run and grab it real quick and we can kind of see if we see what we're talking about. Sorry, give me a second. Sorry about that. We're back. So I know this one is an original. As far as to tell the difference between the original and this one, you know what? I haven't ever looked that up, but I definitely need to do some uh, looking on this because, well, I know where this got. Um, and then there's the moving on. And I don't know. I need to do some research on how to tell the difference. I know where these come from. Um, I got lucky and got these uh, probably 20 years ago or so at Bowling Green, Kentucky at the flea market or antique mall, whatever you want to call it. It was like a antique mall slash flea market. Some of those booths had people at the flea market. Some of them was like an antique mall. Like I said, these I ended up getting both of these from the same person. So let me see. Let me read over here if the sticker's missing. Carl, I'll do some research and I'll get you some answers on that. I'm not 100% sure, and that's a good question. I've never researched on how to tell the difference, but I'm going to write that down for something to look for. That is one of them that I've never researched. So I'll definitely do some checking on that and figure out, because there's got to be something different, I'm sure, on these besides just a sticker. But either way, I will do some research on them and we'll try to figure that out before next week. Apologize for not exactly knowing, um, Carl, on that, but we'll definitely try to find out an answer before next week. If there's anything y'all want to know about for next week or something that we can talk about, Flealand, you're right, Randy. That's exactly the name of the place we used to go. Flealand, right across from the Corvette Museum, or the Corvette. I guess it's the Corvette Museum and the Corvette plants right there too. But yeah, Flealand, I believe, is the name of what my wife said exactly. So Crambone, I'm not sure what that is. I had the white cab in poor condition. Was wondering what it is. I'm not 100% sure because this is also the holler and all that. So let me do some investigation on how to tell the difference on this because I really haven't. Um, have version of hammer down casting, but yeah, curious how to tell the difference. Yeah, me too. That's a good question because you know what? That's something I've never. After I got it and I know it's real, I mark it off and then I go on. But I never asked, well, how do you know it's real? I mean, I just know that people's looked at it and they know, kind of know by the sticker. It's the way the sticker's made and everything. It's just you just kind of know whenever you see it. But you're right because a lot of people sell reproduction stickers and they'll pull apart a good, a Peterbilt tank truck or whatever, or they'll pull apart you know, a tank truck or a hauler and they'll end up, putting a sticker on just so they can say they have one in their collection. Yep, Bowling Greens, what everybody says. Yep. On one of your videos from a couple of weeks ago, a toy vendor didn't want you videoing. Are most vendors friendly? Yeah, 10-4. Most people are cool with video, and a lot of people actually like it. If they say don't video, I back out and I move on to the next person. It's no big deal. I understand it. I mean, I try to just get the shows out there for people that can't get to the shows. I try to, most people are like, they're cool with it. Once they see the show, I'm not putting anybody in a bad light. I don't want to put anybody in a bad light. I'm not putting anybody out there saying, look at what this guy's doing or whatever. It's just there for people to go to see the shows, kind of what they have, what they expect. If you get a chance to go to one of these shows, a lot of people have to travel hours to get to a lot of these shows. I have to travel hours to get to any show. So because the closest show to me is about an hour away. The one in Crossville was the closest, I think, it was almost an hour. And then the one in Nashville is about an hour and 40 minutes. Then you go into Huntsville, you're probably 2 hours. You go into, of course, Ohio is about 5.5, 6 hours. The Florida one's like 10 or 12 hours. So yeah, as far as the most people are excited. Most people I know around here anyway, I'm having a conversation. They already know what's going on. A lot of people, like I said, they're more excited about just wanting me to go over their stuff. Like I said, if anybody says, I'd prefer you not to film, I try to back out and be like, okay, we're not going to film in here and we'll just pull it out. And I probably should have pulled that out. Maybe I didn't realize I left that in there because if somebody asks not to film in their booth, I try not to show a lot of faces unless somebody really wants, I know that wants is good with it, but I try not to show a lot of the faces too, just because I don't know. I just like people to have privacy or whatever, and that's just the way I do it. And it's not no big deal either way. So if y'all ever set up at a show and you see me filming and whatever, don't want me to film, just let me know, and I will move on, no problem. So Crambone is what the flea sang on Tom. Oh, okay, that's cool. Tom and Terry had some cool stuff. I seen some cool Tom and Terry cars at the Redneck Rumble last weekend, and I had never seen those before. And I liked them, but I didn't want to pay the price for them because I knew they wasn't Hot Wheels, but B, it's just I think they were like $9, $10 a piece, and I just was like, I didn't really need them, but they were cool. Uncle Pecos. Sure. Would you like to be my secret shopper? Carl says, would you like to be my secret shopper? Oh, man, that's funny. What are we looking for, Carl? Is there anything in particular everybody is looking for? I mean, I don't mind hunting stuff while I'm out if I can. I mean, I've got a list of some of my real close friends that are like, hey, if you see this, let picking up because you go to, I go to a lot of shows. So there's always a rare piece that a lot of people are looking for. The problem is with that is like you find a rare piece and somebody's asking 50. The problem is will that the person that you're buying it for will they want to give you the 50 or would they only want to give 20? So I don't do it a ton, but I have, and I still have a list of a few items that I still look for people all the time because they're good friends of mine, and I know kind of, they're usually I look at it like this: if I buy it, it's going to be cheap enough that if you didn't want it, I could probably resell it and recoup my money back. That's kind of the only way to really do that because you might be good on money today or good on trades today, and then 2 weeks from now, whenever somebody finds it, you may be strapped for cash. You never know. So, but I'm good with looking for anything that you're looking for. But yeah, I'm always hunting stuff for people. You probably see on my videos. I'm like, I picked this up for so and so that collects these. Uh, I clicked up a dairy delivery set, that Malaysia set, because I know a buddy of mine that he collects mostly dairy deliveries, and so I picked that up for him. Stuff like that. But let's see what it says. I have the Tom and Jerry car with a cannon. That's cool. Respect is always good. Yeah, you gotta, when you're at a show like that, I think most people are, really cool with it. They don't really care. Sometimes when you go to these toy shows, some of the people, they don't want you to show their stuff. Now, some of the flea markets is like that too. I've had a couple of people tell me, hey, I don't want you filming my stuff. A lot of people are asking, they'll come up and ask me sometimes and go, why do you want to say, why do you want to, why are you filming my stuff? That kind of thing. I kind of explain it to them, and then they're cool as can be with it. So, it is what it is. Finally found the white bag with the error cards from Miss Deborah. Awesome, Roberto. Get with me if you want to get rid of them. I'm looking for errors all the time. Carl says I'm only kidding. It's cool, Carl. If you've got something that you're looking for in particular, there's usually one hard, like, top of the mountain piece that people are looking for. I don't mind looking for it. The new, more common stuff you'll see out in the store next week, I don't really hunt that much because a lot of people, I've got a couple people that does, and then some people that don't. So, but anyway, so where are we at on the chat? I'm gonna catch back up with the chat, and then we'll start to wrap it up. I guess it's after 9. I could hang out a while. Like I said, if there's anything y'all want to know about for next week, let me know. We'll probably do it again here next week. Put it down in the comments, anything you want to go over. Um, I do want to get with you about those areas, Roberto. And I need to get with you about those signs. I forgot about them. If you still got them, that is. I'm really interested in those because I'm going to start hanging. I'm going to take some of the original signs out in the shop, put some of those type signs up. They're original still, but more Hot Wheel related stuff is pretty cool. But anyway, there's some good areas in there, is what they're saying. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up then. If there's anything y'all want to know more about next week, I've got the Roger Dodgers that I need to try to see if I can get pulled out. And I've also got the difference between the hammered down and the moving on. I don't believe I've got any shows or anything going on this weekend. So there is the flea market, but I don't know if we'll end up going to that or not. But then next week I think we go to another Hot Wheels show the week after that or so. But we got a couple of lives before then. But obviously we'll keep up with our Beat 16. I don't think I'll be adding to it this week, but you never know. If I happen to stop at a yard sale or something, that'd be about it. But I really don't know. I found the new yellow Hot Wheel BMW 2002 without tampos a few weeks ago, just plain yellow. That's cool. I like them whenever the tampos are completely missing. I think they make it look a lot cooler. And then, of course, you got to worry about, you know, most time whenever they're like that, one side will have them or one top will have them and then sides won't. But that's cool. I'm looking for 4 rumblers right now. Don't have to be a mint. 4 rumblers. What's the 4 rumblers you're looking for? You can send me a Instagram, or you can put it in a message chat or whatever. Yeah, I hope everybody stays cool the rest of this week. I think it's supposed to be warm the rest of this week. Brandy was making good to see y'all and chat. Stay cool this week. But anyway, y'all have a great week and weekend hunting, and we'll probably come back. Obviously, we'll be back probably next Tuesday. We'll probably be right back here again. Like I said, I'll be a few weeks probably away from that side. I'm going to try to pull the case out, try to get into going, see if I can get the motor going. I've got the Roger Dodgers written down, and I've got to tell the difference between the hammer down moving on. If there's anything else y'all want to talk about or see for next week, put it in a comment. That'd be awesome. Got the new video, should be out Thursday, and it'll be from the Cousins Collectible Toy and Diecast show in Chattanooga. My papers are over there. I know there's some shows coming up soon. I'll have to get with y'all next week on whatever shows are coming up. I don't know of any shows this weekend. If y'all know of any shows, you can put them in the comment. I'm sure there's some shows. There just probably ain't shows right here close to us. So, but anyway, let's see the chat, and then we're going to call it a night. It says, have a good weekend, hun. Yeah, 115. Woo, too hot. It's hot here, too. Cool folks with Hot Wheels. Awesome, James. Chris, see you, buddy. I appreciate everybody coming by. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, too. Like I said, if there's anything else you want to know or see more of, put it in the comment. Or put it in the comments of the video. I'll see them, and then I'll try to get them for next Tuesday. But y'all be safe. Be careful. Hope y'all find some cool stuff, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank y'all for coming.